Harsonen scored. Okay, that's interesting. And so it's a weird night where they both play, and you can kind of pay attention to both individually.
Yeah.
You can kind of do that. So that's where we're at. But that's not the big news. We're here to talk about the Broncos and talk to me about today. It sounded like there was a lot more muggles, a lot more media there than normal. Is that right?
Yeah, there were definitely a couple more new faces there. Of course, the Broncos are in the playoffs. This is an exciting time. And Sean Payton definitely pointed that out in his press conference, which was really funny. But honestly, there were a lot of guys talking in the locker room too, which was great. They did have, if you've watched our live streams before, then you will remember DMac said sometimes on the TVs, they'll have games of their opponents.
Yes.
And guess what game they had on the TV that guys were watching today?
Was it last year's Monday night game against the Bills?
It was. And you were watching them dissect different things that they did. It was actually really fascinating to watch. We all kind of like stood back and watched everybody just, look up at the screen. And I said, interesting. But everyone feels pretty locked in. Some guys won't acknowledge that they're the underdog. Other guys will and say they appreciate it. It's been an interesting vibe for sure, but they're definitely locked and loaded and ready to go. That's for sure.
Well, that's cool. Who did you get a chance to talk to? Who was chatting away?
Talked to the birthday boy today. Do you know who that is?
Whoa, birthday boy. Hold on. I guess I don't. It feels like I should. I know Greg Penner's birthday was actually a couple days ago.
Interesting.
Was it Pat Surtain?
Not Patrick Surtain. Nope. Somebody else on the defense, though.
Defense. Okay. All right.
Somebody who could have a major impact on the game on Sunday.
Was it Nick Benito's birthday?
Not Nick Benito.
John Franklin Meyer's birthday?
Nope.
Was it Jonathan Cooper's birthday?
It is Jonathan Cooper's birthday today.
All right. That's kind of good.
Romy Bean had even asked him, what were you doing like the last time the Broncos made the playoffs?
Oh, wow.
He's like, well, I was a young gun at the Ohio State University, and I probably should have redshirted, but I didn't. And so that was his answer. And I said, fair enough. And here he is now getting ready to play in his first playoff game. He was really excited. Just kind of talking about the underdog mentality again is some of these guys really aren't feeding into it. It's like, no, we're not really underdogs. We're just showing up. And then some of those guys really are kind of buying into it because they're like, we have nothing to lose. None of the pressure is on us. And so it was just interesting to kind of get each little perspective, and where Jonathan Cooper sat on that as well is just like, yeah, we might be the underdogs, but I'm coming to get Josh Allen. And I was like, all right, go get him then.
How are you feeling about things?
I'm having such mixed feelings. I'm curious your opinion too, because there's a difference when you're in this industry between your head and your heart. And I sit there with my head and I think, the Broncos have to play a perfect game for them to be able to beat the Bills. And then in my heart, I'm like, who knows what could happen? And we're going to get to the Bo Nix hype video because I had literal chills every time I watch it. But I'm like, who knows what can happen? That's why you play the game, right?
That's awesome.
Ugh.
I've looked at the game. Listen, I actually have a little homework that I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm sorry I'm not prepared for tonight. But the Bills have 4 losses. Okay. Yep. One of them is to the Patriots, and they wanted the Patriots to win. They tried to have the Patriots win, and the Patriots are stupid, and they won the game. Dumb on so many levels. Okay, so you'll take that game and you throw it in the trash can. It just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Their first loss was in week 4 against the Ravens, and they lost 35-10. And that game, they were outclassed. They were manhandled. That's it.
Yep.
The most interesting game of their season was against the Texans the next week.
Yep.
And in this game, they lost 23-20. And Josh Allen was 9 for 30, Rachel. 9 for 30.
Yeah.
And I got to go back and watch the game to try to figure this out. Like, what in the world did the Texans do to do that? Now, let me tell you, after that game, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins in a row, only to lose to the Rams, but they lost to the Rams 44-42, like a crazy, insane game. And then they won the next 3 games after that before the useless Patriots game. So after their second loss, they won, let me count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They won 10 of their last 11 games.
Yeah.
So something happened in that Texans game that they lost, and then they did something to correct something afterwards. And that is kind of a mystery to me, like what exactly that is. I don't have an answer for that.
Well, so interesting enough, I was looking at the games that they lost, and I was like, is there anything that I can relate to the Denver Broncos? And one of those things is Josh Allen had 3 sacks in that game for 27 yards. They gave up 14 sacks the entire year.
Not a lot. Yeah.
No, they've been stellar on that front. So I'm like, okay, 3 sacks, 27 yards. I'm not linking that directly to it, but I mean, it clearly had some sort of an impact on it. I also want to go back and watch that game because I'm very curious to see if Josh Allen just was off on that day, what it was looking like. But it is nice to know, essentially, teams that are able to get after him more than twice in a game, which this Denver Broncos defense is really good at, he seems to struggle more.
Here is Sean Payton talking about Bo Nix playing his first playoff game. Good old Bo.
A rookie quarterback starting his first NFL game. Is it
his first playoff game?
A big step, and then what makes you think you're
I think,
Bo
listen, he's played in bigger games. I mean, he's played in a lot of big games, and honestly, last week for him, for many guys, it was like a playoff game. So he's seasoned and he's been in big moments, and you know what? He's going to play in bigger games.
You know, he said that kind of all year about Bo. Like, we have bigger games. He's played in bigger games. I'm trying to think, has he really played in a bigger game than an NFL playoff game? Has there been a bigger game for Bo Nix than that? I mean, is the Pac-12 championship game a bigger game than an NFL playoff game? I mean, maybe it is, but
probably
I don't know.
I mean, I don't think it is, but I think it's that mentality of like, if Bo Nix hears this is the biggest game of Bo Nix's career, you can kind of psych yourself out there. So I feel like as a head coach, and Sean Payton does play a lot of mind games, that you have to sit there and be like, no, it's just another game. It's not a big deal at all. And then hopefully they can go in there with this confidence of like, it's just another game.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, he's done it all year.
Yeah.
Bo Nix has had that presence literally all year. So I don't know. I mean, I guess why would it be any different? And every angle I look at this game, Rach, it's the pressure's on Buffalo, not Denver. I mean, what's the pressure on Denver? Nobody even expected them to be there.
Yeah, no. And that's kind of the truth too, which is why Justin Sternad even mentioned, you know, being again that underdog. And he's like, there's nothing on us. We just kind of have to go out there and play our brand of football. That was another thing. Everybody was saying our brand of football over and over and over again in the locker room. We heard, you know, Bo Nix say it, and either Patrick Surtain or Cortland Sutton, I can't remember, but they also mentioned our brand of football. Like, that was the clear message. We're playing our brand of football.
Well, I think their brand of football that would fit the best. And the Bills are actually a very good running team. Josh Allen has more rushing yards than Javonte Williams. James Cook has more than 1,000 rushing yards, which is rare these days, but he has over 1,000 rushing yards. Can you hear my wife screaming downstairs, by the way?
Yeah, I thought it was like outside. Is something going on?
I don't know. Usually the Avalanche are on. Oh, you know what she's doing? I know what she's doing because they're at the intermission. Sorry to get distracted here. She's watching the game from the beginning, and the Avalanche must have just scored. So she's watching the game because she was just a little late coming home from work. So she must be watching. So the Avs just scored in Cat Cave's real time. She's celebrating.
Is it at the intermission? Is it 1-1 or
it's 1-1? So should I yell down and spoil the game for her and say, you know?
Don't do that. That's cruel.
All right,
that is cruel.
Anyways, with Bo Nix, let's get to the hype video. Let's break down the hype video.
Oh, I get chills every single time I watch this video, and I hope you guys do too.
Do you know one of our former colleagues who I love at least, Mike Evans, is actually he's in it. Yeah. Iconic Mike, because Mike, and I love him. I do love my guy, Mike Evans. But he has never rooted for the Broncos to ever draft a quarterback. He's been against every quarterback. He is he came up with the expression khaki pants quarterback.
Yeah.
And basically his argument is never to draft a quarterback in the first round, which I'm so incredibly diametrically opposed to. So it did not catch me by surprise if there was a negative Nelly about Bo Nix. The voice of Mike Evans comes through like a beacon. And Mike did say he believes now. Easy to believe
now that you're in
now.
the playoffs.
I do love Mike, but I had to laugh that the Bo Nix production team, and let's talk about that after we watch it. Apparently, there is a Bo Nix production team.
Yeah.
We'll dig in on that in a second.
Can I nerd out real quick though?
Yeah.
I want to know how they find all of this audio. Like, how many times is Bo Nix's name mentioned throughout the day on all Denver sports talk radio, and yet they can find these clips? I'm impressed. But watch the video.
Okay.
I hope it gives you chills like it does to me.
Okay.
It's been 8 years since the Broncos have been to the playoffs.
But unfortunately, the Broncos fall just short.
And unfortunately for the Broncos, they still have not clinched a playoff spot.
Ain't nobody trying to watch Bo Nix, a rookie quarterback, play.
Why not?
It is so good.
That is done so well. Yeah, let's break down. First of all, it's not the Aerosmith standard Dream On. It's a remix.
And it's good.
It's really good. Then there's not a music dropout where they put Sertan. They produce that to bring it back in. Then he mixes in images of Elway and Shannon Sharp.
So cool.
And Broncos of the past, which definitely gives you the image of what is the past is now the future, like kind of here we go. And this is really well done.
It's so good. I got chills again watching it.
And you bring up a great point. Like, you would have had to be collecting audio throughout the course of this isn't something you can easily find.
No.
Unless, I mean, I guess you could go to YouTube or whatever, people rag on Bo Nix or get ripped on, that sort of thing. Okay, so we both agree. That's an awesome hype video, right?
Fantastic. I cannot tell you the last time I got chills from a hype video, and I got chills. I'm still getting chills on this hype video. It's so well done.
All right. I do not mean to be, I don't mean to be a get off my lawn guy, because I do love the video too.
Okay.
But this video was not done by the Denver Broncos, correct? It was done by Bo Nix, correct?
Yes. So I do believe that there is a production team for Bo Nix. And from what I have gathered, he has had this person for quite some time now. They do not live in the Denver metro area. They actually live on the East Coast. But yes, he does have, and I think it's one guy. Let's not act like it's a team like
no. One talented, knows what he's doing guy could certainly put this together. No doubt about it.
Easy.
Okay.
Don't be this guy.
I don't want to be a stick in the mud, so I'll keep it brief because I'm curious about your opinion more than anything.
Okay.
Why did he do it?
Because it's going to get everybody freaking hyped like it got me hyped. Everyone's doubting the Broncos that they're going to lose.
Okay, so he did it to get people fired up.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't been doing hype videos all year. Has he? Have I missed it? Has he been doing? Okay.
He posts every once in a while on Instagram, but he's also a 26-year-old dude. Like, that's what you do. What was weird about Russ in that situation is I'm like, you're 30 years old. Like, you're not really posting on social media. You didn't grow up doing that. Bo Nix literally has grown up posting on social media. So this is normal.
Okay. Because that's just what 24. I think it's 24. I don't think it's 20. You're dating him a little bit. Don't make him too old there, Rach.
Are you 24?
I think he's only 24. I can double check that.
Just look it up.
Age. Yeah, he's 24. He turns 25 February 25th.
Okay.
So he's closer to 25 than 24. He's almost, you could call him 25.
25.
I do want to be a little careful, because if this is just what people do and this is just what 25-year-olds do, then, hey, man, that's cool. Listen, we're doing plenty of digital media stuff too, but I've got to be a little bit consistent, a little bit, because when Russell Wilson was doing hype videos or Garrett Bowles was doing hype videos, I mean, we did tease them for that. Like,
teased Garrett Bowles.
Well, Garrett Bowles had this stupid hype video. He's got chains and dramatic music, and he's lifting weights, and
wait, I need this hype video. Hold on.
Oh, he's done a bunch of it's not just one. He's there. Hype videos are interesting.
Okay, but have you seen a hype video that well done in a long time?
That was really well done. Well, it's funny because we brought it up on the radio today, and Tyler and Scott Hastings started giving me some shit saying, if that was Russell Wilson, you would hate it. Yeah. And I said, well, yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't mean to be a hypocrite, but it felt weird watching hype videos from Russell Wilson when they sucked. And so we brought up a Russell Wilson Steelers hype video, and it was fucking awesome. It featured actually more of his teammates than Russell Wilson.
That's the difference. And I even saw somebody who just tweeted that Russ videos were all about himself. That's the difference. And that's the truth.
And you know what, Wes, you're probably right about that. This one, though, leaned way heavier on his teammates. And maybe that's a lesson he learned. But it's like, all right, again, and this will be my last point on it, because I don't want to spoil it, because it was great. It was great. And it gave me chills, too. And I love Aerosmith. And there's a music drop. And there's Pat Surtain. Why not? Love it. Yeah. Up yours. Let's go. Again, but shouldn't that be the team doing it, not the individual players or media outlets that are just trying to get you hyped up? I mean, okay. I know I'm a little get off my lawn here.
You are.
Just put me in my place.
Okay, first of all, the team could never drop that kind of video. That's just they just can't. I'm sorry. You're never going to see a team drop a hype video like that. Two, the way I was just I don't have words. It was such a good hype video. I love that he included absolutely everybody. I love Patrick Surtain saying, why not? Which I'm so curious what he was actually saying, why not to. Because it's probably not about the playoffs. They're probably not yelling at each other during stretches being like, hey, can we make it to the playoffs? And he goes, why not? It was probably something silly.
They may be like, hey, do you want some sushi after the game? Yeah. Why not?
The Broncos could never make a video that would include the greats and put that out on their own social media page and compare the two. People would destroy them. You can't do that.
Okay. All right.
I'm here for it. I loved it. We're going to watch it again before we leave because I loved it that freaking much.
Well, I got no problems with it too. Listen, I'm pumped for the game. I'm excited for it. It's done really, really well.
Is Von Miller going to get a sack on Bo Nix?
Well, I'll tell you why that might happen. And it's not a good reason.
Okay.
Von Miller is a pass rushing specialist now, Rachel, for the Bills. He's not out there on every down.
Yeah.
A pass rushing specialist has its most impact when you're trailing and desperate. So he might get a sack on Bo Nix, but the only circumstance where that might happen is the Broncos are probably down by 3 possessions or more, and they're in some sort of 2nd and 14, 3rd and 9, that type of thing. Other than that, Bo is pretty quick and clever and gets away from sacks, and the Broncos do a really great job. That's been probably his best quality and most surprising quality. So could it happen? Sure, it could happen, but it will only happen if the Bills have the game in control and it's still somewhat competitive. It's not going to happen if, they're down by 30, something like that. But if they're down by 17 late in the third quarter and it's 3rd and 9, sure, because Vaughn doesn't play that many plays. He's only in there for some really, really specific reasons. It is somewhat similar to the role DeMarcus Ware had in 2015 when they won the Super Bowl.
Can I have a hot take?
Of course.
I do think it's a little weird, and I don't say this as I don't appreciate it, but how much Von Miller still talks about the Denver Broncos when he's asked about it and the love he has. If I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, I'm like, great, well then go back and play for him, which we all know Von wants to do. He would love to go back to the Broncos, but it is just a little weird in my opinion.
I have still a couple of friends in Buffalo. We had one of our a guy I used to work with, great radio named Ted Shred, and Ted was on our radio show, and I was also on with Bull, a guy named Bull who's another radio pal of mine. And I asked them about Von Miller. They like Von, they don't love him because he's not, that important to their team. So they like him, they don't love him. And don't forget, Von got suspended this year. So, and yes, something like that. Was that? And don't forget, Von still does say we and us when referring to the
Denver Broncos.
And when I pointed it out to those guys, they're like, oh yeah, we know. Like, they don't really care. It is kind of like DeMarcus Ware. Like, we all knew DeMarcus Ware was really a Cowboy. We all knew that. Like, we all know Ray Bork was really a Bruin, not an Av. And we were all just fine with it. Like, whatever. Who cares? The stickier one is Peyton Manning. Like, he's really a Colt, right? But he always identifies with the Broncos all the time, and he lives here in Denver.
Yeah, screw the Colts.
Kind of. Well, he's kind of the one that said screw the Colts. Like,
yes, he should.
Not out loud, but like kind of in his actions. I mean,
he said, you didn't want me after my neck surgery? Okay, screw you too.
Kind of. I mean, a little bit.
See you later.
But that's good. I like answering some of these questions. That's a good way to go here. Perhaps that's I have some other things here. Here is Bo on the hostile I'll do this playing on the road. I haven't played this one yet. Playing on the road, playing in Buffalo. Does it phase Bo Nix?
Bo, what are the characteristics specifically of this team that gives you confidence that you can go on the road this week and win in an environment like Buffalo?
Well, we have a really close team, and we've been working really hard at this. We've been in pretty much most of our recent away games. We've been in all of them, and we a few of them we just haven't been able to close out. So I'm excited to eventually one's going to go our way. So I'm excited to just get in this environment and compete. And I know these guys, we have each other's back, and no matter what, offense, defense, special teams, somebody's going to make a play. Somebody's going to put us in a situation to go out there and win it. And then I believe that it's time that we can show and prove, and somebody can go out there and take the game over and go out there and win it. And so I think we've just been kind of building up for this moment. All the obstacles and the highs and lows we've been through this year just kind of set us up right where we are.
So Marvin Mims spoke on the environment as well. And what was fascinating is he says, we really have to be locked and loaded this week in our preparation because we know it's going to be a hostile, loud environment. He's like, we're probably going to do a lot of lip reading because you're not going to be able to hear Bo. So they all need to know what the plays are going to be and be very well prepared this week leading into the game on Sunday. And I thought that was really fascinating that, it's going to be loud and you're probably going to have to do a lot of lip reading. You don't hear guys talk about those type of little details very often. I thought it was interesting.
That's awesome. That's good to know. And what a season Marvin Mims has had. I mean, let's just start there. The guy's been unbelievable. So valuable to the team and filled with confidence too. So listen, let's face it. Nobody really is talking about the Denver Broncos. Nobody's taking them all that seriously. Nobody's going to pick them. I mean, literally nobody.
No, there's one person. I saw one person on an NFL Network. I don't remember who it was, but one person did.
Who was his dad the barrel? Was his dad the barrel man? I mean, like who's that guy? Yeah, you gotta look it up. Sure. Hey, that's awesome. I mean, if you're gonna pick him, and listen, I think here's my hot take on this one. If the Broncos are to win, Pat Surtain will be the MVP of the game, and here's why. Here's why. The Bills run the ball very well. Josh Allen is dangerous running the ball too.
Yep.
You've just got to sell out to stop the run. And that means you're going to leave your secondary in more dangerous positions. And maybe you can afford to do that because of Pat Surtain. So I don't think Pat Surtain is going to get a lot of targets. He might only get 4 to 6 opportunities, period, the whole game.
Yeah.
But if Pat Surtain can do something dramatic, then I think the Broncos have a chance because he would be ending something. He'd be intercepting the ball in the end zone. He'd be stopping them. It basically would be stopping them from a touchdown and perhaps, like he has earlier, going 99 yards for a touchdown. Like he would have to make a play probably somewhere in the red zone that the Bills would make a mistake, and they don't make a lot of mistakes. And they would do so because they are just not going to let the Bills' running game beat them. I believe the Broncos' best shot is if they go best on best, and that's Josh Allen basically throwing against Pat Surtain. Now, you might say, well, why don't you just go with Riley Moss? Well, I don't think that's what they're going to do. I think they're going to put Pat Surtain the best that they can in single coverage, and they're going to bracket everybody else. And it's going to be hard for Josh Allen not to be tempted to go one-on-one, because one-on-one in general, one-on-one without safety help in general favors the quarterback and the receiver. And most defenses do not play like that because most defenses don't have a guy like Pat Surtain. So I think the Broncos are going to have to almost dare the Bills to make some big plays and count on Surtain coming through. And if I had to predict a potential MVP for the game, it would be Patrick Surtain if they are going to win. How you like that?
I also, just to go off of that, Patrick Surtain talked about what he thought one of the keys was going to be for this Broncos defense. And which I'm hoping they limit their zone defense. I don't think that the Broncos do well in zone defense. I much more prefer man defense for this team. But Patrick Surtain did say that they're going to have to, he didn't say stick like glue. He said it in some other way, but essentially be locked up against whoever they're going to be defending the entire time. Like he made that a big emphasis of like, we're going to have to be on top of these guys no matter what, because Josh Allen can essentially get anybody the ball at any time. And so that makes me a little bit excited again, that we're going to see a lot more man instead of zone. I just don't like when the Broncos play zone defense. I just don't think they do it very well.
Adam ranked it. That's pretty.
See? Was it
Adam? Okay. That's funny.
Yeah,
because Adam Rank has been one of the bigger anti-Broncos guys for years. So, okay, I take this with a grain of salt because Adam Rank is one of these, like our pal James Marilat, the constant contrarian. Like if everybody's going in one direction, he kind of on purpose will go the other. And I shouldn't say that about James. Perhaps he does believe all those negative things, and we love you, James. We love you, James. So I guess that doesn't really surprise me if it's Adam Rank. And no way Broncos defense stopping Josh Allen. You guys are funny in the comments.
Oh wait, this is the same guy that was angry in our comment section on Sunday.
Yeah, angry people in the comments. It's like an object of motion. It tends to stay in motion. Like angry people in comments stay angry in comments forever.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's actually hilarious. I'm trying to read what else. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really intrigued for the game. I think if the Broncos can have 2 turnovers, they win the game. That's my hot take.
That would be incredible.
Yeah.
The fact that the Bills are plus 24 in giveaway takeaway is just mind-blowing to me. Yeah. I mean, and let's just start there. To win this game, the Broncos cannot turn the ball over.
No.
Period. No. I'd rather, and he doesn't take a lot of sacks, but I'd rather see Bo Nix take some sacks rather than do something silly and stupid. And I'd rather see them punt and take a chance on their defense and make the Bills work for it rather than something silly. Turnovers against the Bills would be, oh my gosh, Rach, it would be death. It just, I don't know if you could survive from it.
You have to start out fast. I think that they have to score in one of their first 2 possessions because you have to take the crowd a little bit out of it. And I think if you can win the turnover battle, then you really stand a good shot.
Here's this. The plus if the Broncos win is we get more of Rachel. Well, we're not planning on stopping this. There's no
No, although I'm not going to lie. If the Broncos did somehow win, I'm going to Arrowhead. I don't care. Awesome. I have to go. It would be so fun. Could you imagine?
I can't imagine because you just get in a car and drive. I mean, it's cheap and it is a cheap flight. And I've never been to Arrowhead. Never been there. So, oh my God. Yeah. I mean, the question is how could we not do that if that's the case?
Yeah.
So I'm right there with you.
It would be so fun.
It would be amazing. I've heard so much about that place. And the Blackhawks just scored, by the way, 2-1 Blackhawks. They are in last place.
Yeah.
They're a last place team. And the Avs are trailing 2-1. Yeah.
But the Avs trail all the time and then somehow find their way
They
back
do. They do.
So
Rachel invading Arrowhead would rule. How is your Bronco Jack throwing us a tip like that?
Thanks, Broncos Jack.
Got to go to my first Broncos game ever back since moving to Colorado in 2016. What an amazing experience. Let's go Broncos. Yeah, why don't you speak? What did you think of the environment looking back on it? And you did a lap around the field afterwards. I thought that was awesome. I was watching your vlog, and what'd you think?
It was good. It was. I do think there is something to this club dub that Sean Payton does really well. And we were actually talking about it before practice today. Some people hate club dub, some people like club dub, but I think it's Sean Payton's way to control all right, we're celebrating and now this is over, we're back to business type thing. You never get to see Sean Payton's motivational speeches, but we also got to see video of all of the players coming in and hugging the ownership group, which was pretty cool. Something we rarely get to see. I, in the moment, don't think I appreciated how big it actually was for the fact that we have been in this drought for so long. But the next morning I woke up and I was just like all in my feels. This is the first time in such a long time that it means something again. And it's exciting and it's been so long. And I love that we're doing it with a rookie quarterback. I love that this team is bonded so well. It's something very special. And that's why, even though I fight between my head and my heart right now, like my head's telling me they're going to lose. You know, Buffalo's a really, really good team and they have so much on the line. There's something special about this team that says, no, they might be able to pull out a win, just be sneaky good, but there's a chance. And so, I don't know, it was just so special. And walking around the field, you know, probably the last time for the season, actually 100% for the last time.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I didn't even think of that. Golly. You know what? Gosh darn it. I didn't even think of that. We should have.
I know.
Oh, we blew that. We were right there. We should have taken a little picture together.
I know. It was so cold, though. I was like, oh, it's chilly.
Yeah.
But I didn't appreciate it in the moment. But the more I've kind of sat in and been like, they're going back to the playoffs. The drought is over and you have your franchise quarterback. You have a rookie that's leading you there. Feels like a really special time in Broncos country. So I feel like I'm all in my feels right now. But it's a good thing. It's exciting.
All right, so Oren Lamena coming up at 7 p.m. for Good News Travel Fast. Matt Smith and I doing a watch-along, 5 to go of the Avs game, and then I'm out the door to go to the Nuggets. Yeah, busy night here on the channel, right?
Yeah, no
a lot
kidding.
Of stuff going on. And the comment here, that hype video would go to the Hall of Fame if the Broncos beat the Bills. All right, Rach, we got time. You can roll it one more time if you want. Go for it.
Let's do it.
Go for it.
Oh, hold on.
There
we go. Maybe it'll let me.
Since the Broncos have been to the playoffs.
But unfortunately, the Broncos fall just short.
And unfortunately for the Broncos, they still have not clinched a playoff spot.
Ain't nobody trying to watch Bo Nix, a rookie quarterback, play.
Why not? Woo!
Peace, everybody.
All right, and with that, wait, I gotta do my dramatic thing here. And with that, cocktail hour. Hold on, shoot, it's cocktail hour is over. Bye.
See you on Sunday.
See you Sunday. Let's go, bro.